What's up, Airsofters? Today we're stepping off the standard rifle coverage and jumping into something a little bit zippier. The Krytac Tornado 3 timed airsoft BB grenade. The Tornado 3 is, as you might expect, the successor to the infamous Airsoft Innovations Tornado 2, but with a handful of quality of life upgrades that enhance functionality and usability, and perhaps, most importantly, you can actually buy these, as sadly the Airsoft Innovations is no longer with us, which until now made the acquisition of their products a bit of a challenge. With Krytac's resurrection and update of one of the most effective non-pyrotechnic airsoft hand grenade designs to date, players now have ready access to an affordable, effective indirect fire implement that can easily change the flow of your average BB fight. Now here's the thing, hand grenades in airsoft aren't just props, they're strategic tools. Whether you're clearing rooms, forcing players out of cover, or making that bold move to shift momentum, grenades create space, room to maneuver, and gaps to exploit that an average AEG sometimes can't. But before we dig into what this grenade brings to the table, let's talk about some common airsoft grenade use case scenarios and what sets these Krytac Tornado 3s apart from the competition. So, when do you actually reach for a timed airsoft grenade like the Tornado 3? Let's start with offense. You're pushing a bottleneck, maybe a narrow stairwell or a fortified room with only one real angle of approach. You know that they're in there. You also know that you're not getting through without eating a full burst of .25s to the face. That's when you cook the timer, bounce the Tornado 3 in low, and let it clear the way. With a 360-degree spread, it doesn't have to just hit somebody directly. Just being in the room when it goes off is often enough to make players flinch, shift, or call their hits outright. It's a momentum breaker, a wedge, a way to soften up defenders so your squad can pour through the door. Let's flip the script. Defense. You're posted up, holding a hallway. You hear movement, somebody tap dancing outside. Lots of movement, in fact. Stacking outside your position. You've got seconds. You drop the Tornado just inside the breach. Now they have to think twice. In CQB, a timed grenade like this can stall or scatter a push, or if you're feeling creative, it can be used to fake a commitment. Roll it into a dead zone, make noise, then rotate to ambush the real breach point. And then, of course, there's the control element. In open play, the Tornado 3 can function like a psychological perimeter. Drop one behind a log, in a trench, or just off the path in the woods. Anyone who sees it go off now knows you're the guy throwing grenades today. And that alone changes players' behavior. It forces caution, buys your team breathing room and precious seconds to gain an advantage. Now let's break down what makes the Tornado 3 more than just another grenade in your stash of throwables. First up, build quality. Krytac went with CNC machined aluminum on this one, so the body feels rock solid in the hand. Additionally, there are substantial rubber bumpers on both the top and bottom of the grenade's body to ensure that even aggressive throws onto concrete don't render your investment inoperable. Next, the timer. The Tornado 3 stands out amongst other grenades as the only model that has a selectable 3-stage timer. Short, medium, and long, which means you can throw it into a room, bounce it through a window, or Hail Mary it across the field behind cover if need be. Just like real grenades, the timer settings are a bit loose, shall we say. Now, under ideal conditions, you can expect the short to be about 2 to 3 seconds, medium to be about 4 to 5, and of course, long to be about 6 to 7. The ejection and reload process also got an overhaul as well. A single ejection port simplifies the loading process, reducing downtime between throws, which is actually a feature introduced on the Airsoft Innovations Tornado 2, but the port itself on the newer version is a little bit less obtrusive and easier to load. The valve system is also promoted as being maintenance-free in their marketing materials, meaning, again, less fiddling in the parking lot and more play on the field. Then there are the numbers. At up to 330 FPS or 1 joule output and a capacity of 178 rounds, the Tornado 3 is actually somewhat of a decreased capacity BB-wise from the Tornado 2. But the trade-off of losing those 22 extra fragments is that you're gaining 90 FPS, as the Tornado 2 only hit at about 240 FPS or so. Now, if you think about it, that actually makes a bit of sense, as 20 BBs aren't really going to make or break the day. A, but an extra zing to the rounds the Tornado 3 whips out throughout a room probably makes your opponent a bit more likely to call the hit, especially with the adrenaline dump they're probably experiencing when they see this bad boy come sailing in the door. It's worth noting that the Tornado 3 should only be used with green gas, propane, and 134A. Do not charge this with red gas, black gas, Newprol, CO2, or any other high pressure gas. In fact, those reminders are on the body and the cap as well. Lastly, Krytac has found a way to address one of the oldest pain points of reusable grenade designs by adding a dedicated slot for an air tag, ensuring that no matter how dense the brush you toss the pain cylinder into, you're at least able to get a general sense of where you threw it as long as you've got a smartphone able to pick up the digital scent. In short, the Tornado 3 isn't just same grenade, new paint. It's smarter, tougher, and built to make you think differently about indirect fire in Airsoft. It also weighs about 50 grams less than the Tornado 2, which is cool. So, if you've been on the fence about getting into grenades, or you've been waiting for something reliable and effective and actually available, the all-new Krytac Tornado 3 is absolutely worth checking out. As always, you can find these Tornado 3s plus all of the gear you need for your next Airsoft game right here at Evike.com. Thanks for watching. We'll see you on the field.